So you downloaded Blender and you have opened it up and you have this splash screen before you or something similar to this. Today I'm going to be going over the user interface, navigation, and some settings that you will have to put in place to be able to enjoy your Blender use. If all this still sounds interesting, guys, subscribe to this channel to see more and like this video, and let's get right into it. So basically, first of all, we want to click out of the splash screen, go into edit, preferences, and there are some things we need to get put in place before we get started in anything concerning Blender. Okay, let us go to the where is it? Add-ons. Yes, there are some add-ons that come with Blender that are by default turned off. So let's set this up. We are going to the first one we're going to turn on is the IV gen. We want the sapling tree gen. This is for creating IV in Blender, and this is for creating trees. We want well, if you are into hard surface, bolt factory would be good, but I'll explain all this later on. So let's just get some basic ones set up. We want to turn on, let's go down the list and see what we have here. Basically, the node wrangler add-on. This is one of the most important add-ons in Blender, and you need to have this checked. Over to impute, we are going to want to check emulate 3-button mouse. If you are using a 2-button mouse or your laptop trackpad, I recommend you get a 3-button mouse to get started in Blender. Let's go into navigation. I personally like zoom to mouse position, but this is my personal preference, but I would recommend you select that. And what that does is anywhere your mouse pointer is, you can zoom into that position. Okay, everything here should be okay for you, and well, I recommend you do not play with any of these settings here, and we can save preferences and close this up. All right, now first off, in Blender you're going to see 3 objects. They will be in a collection. The first object is the cube, the second is the camera. Oh, one more thing in preferences, I forgot this. We have to check select with right click. This is something that is like if you are coming from a previous version of Blender, you want to select with right click. It makes more sense that way. So right click, yes, right click selects. This is the cube, this is the lamp or light, so it's a light. This is a light, and this is the camera. All right, now let's learn how to navigate in Blender. So the first thing we're going to do is, if you use your mouse scroll wheel and you scroll in, it zooms in, and if you scroll out, you are zooming out. If you press and hold the middle mouse button, you will be able to orbit around your mesh, and if you hold down shift and press and drag the middle mouse button, you'll be able to pan. So middle mouse button and drag to rotate or orbit, scroll wheel up and down to zoom in and out, shift and middle mouse button to pan around the scene. Now let me explain what the setting we turned on earlier does. That's so we can zoom where our pointer is. So if I put my pointer here and I zoom, I can zoom straight at that object. If I put my pointer here, I can zoom straight at this object. So that's what it basically does. All right. Now, concerning windows, concerning the windows in Blender, this it's all written out here. This is the 3D viewport. Down here we have our timeline. Here it is the outliner where you have your collections and your various objects. Here is the properties. This is very important. Now let me cover some things in the properties window. We have active tool and workspace settings. Now you would not use things here most often. Render settings, I believe. Render properties, yes. This is where you choose your render engine, EV, or cycles, or workbench. We'll cover that in future tutorials, hopefully. Uh, but this is where you choose your render engine. Sampling. We'll cover all this when we start other tutorials. We have the different workspaces or different layouts. For modeling, we have this, where we have a full screen of the 3D viewport. Sculpting, we have a sculpting interface where we could be taken into sculpt mode. UV editing, texture paint, shading. That will take some seconds to load. Shading, animation, rendering, compositing, and scripting. But we are going to be focusing on just the default layout in Blender. Alright guys, so I believe I have covered most of the things with what I have said so far. Okay. Another interesting thing I would like to speak about is the 3D cursor. 3D cursor, yes. This is this marker here. And this is very important, but I just want to show its relevance. If you hold shift and press C, that is shift C, it will snap it to the center. Now let's go into the different modes. If we press tab, it will take us straight to edit mode. If we press tab again, it will take us out of edit mode. If we hold control and then press tab, you should have a pie menu to select from. Now we have object or edit mode. This will toggle in and out of object and edit mode. We have vertex paint mode, texture paint mode, the edit modes where you can choose your different modes for edit, weight paint, and sculpt. Now some objects won't have this option. If you click on the camera and press Control Tab, you would see an error message. Active object has only object mode, because some objects cannot be edited. I believe the lamp is that way too. Yes. But if you add another object, you could go up here and click on Add and select, or you can press the hotkey Shift A and you can select an object. Most objects here, you would be able to edit them. All the objects here, from here down to text, will have edit modes. The lattice should have edit mode as well. These objects would not. And that is basically it, guys. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comment section and I will be sure to cover it in future tutorials. I am currently working on a beginner's course to take you from modeling to shading, texture painting, hopefully, UV editing, rendering, or lighting and compositing, then rendering. So please, if that sounds interesting, do well to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring that notification bell to get notified when I upload a new video. And well, that is it for today. Until next time, guys. Peace.